20 years ago today, a fighter jet crashed into a home, killing 5 people, including a couple and their friend. News Channel 5's Jennifer Reyes joins us here in the studio. And Jennifer, you spoke with the couple's daughter about how the family's dealing with this anniversary.
I did, Vicki, and even though it's been 2 decades since the crash, she still remembers it like it was yesterday. But instead of focusing on what they've lost, they're now focusing on what they can create.
Today's 29th of January. It's the day of the plane crash 20 years ago.
The date is no doubt etched in her mind, and flipping through newspaper clippings brings it all back.
This is all about the accident.
As if it happened yesterday.
Sometimes I still get choked up. Sometimes.
You see, Angie Newsom lost both of her parents that day. Their house was destroyed by an F-14 Navy fighter that came crashing down on it like a missile.
They said it was pilot error.
She says all she found walking through the wreckage that day was her father's glasses and her mother's purse. That's all she had left of them. That and the memories of who they used to be.
And my mom was one of the gentlest people that you would ever want to meet.
Their house on Luna Drive has now been replaced by a new one. There's no plaque or anything to indicate what happened here. But Angie says that's how the family wanted it to be.
I think my family chooses to not really dwell on the tragedy, but to remember the good things.
She hardly ever looks back at the crash anymore. Instead, she likes to tell stories about who Elmer and Ada were.
20 years later, they have a couple dozen great-grandchildren that they never met.
It's good to remember today, she says, but it's better to create new memories for the ones they left behind.
It doesn't get easier. I don't know the exact word to tell you, but maybe it gets familiar.
And Angie says the one thing she still remembers the most about that day is the kindness and generosity of the people, from the first responders to the neighbors. She says there's no other place she'd rather live because of that, Vicki.
Thanks, Jennifer.